My name is Samuel and I'm from Nigeria. There's a saying to the effect that what can't kill you only makes you stronger. But this time, I don't know how strong I will be coming out from this predicament that I have found myself, but then, I want to share it with all and sundry, at least perhaps a problem is half solved when it is shared. Let's see how the cookie crumbles in my case after sharing. Just read. This all started about 2 years ago, the very year I embarked on my youth service in Kogi State. There was this very good restaurant not too far from Yagba East Local Government Council where I frequently visited for my CDS. It was the aroma that lured me to the place, the acrid savor of scented stew and fried pieces of assorted meat. It was irresistible. I couldn't extricate myself from the luscious captivity that overwhelmed me. Perhaps, a simple restraint would have changed the mores of history, would have saved me from all these. As I entered the restaurant, I grabbed a plate and stood on the queue salivating and waiting for my turn. When it got to my turn, before me was something more compelling than the meal that I expected. My eyes got locked in contact with the young lady who was serving the meal. Your guess is probably as good as mine. It had to be a woman, yeah. Naughty mind. Anyways, let's go on. She was beautiful beyond expression. I could hardly compose myself and it took me some few seconds to reboot. She asked, "What food do you want, sir?" In fluent English. I said, "Give me rice, plantain, and 3 pieces of meat." She, with a practiced hand, served me the food and added a winsome smile to ensnare me completely. Her skill showed nothing less than culinary adroitness. I was going to pay and she refused to collect the money. I didn't understand the kind gesture. I then insisted and she smiled at me and said, "It's okay, it's on me." I then took a seat and started eating. While I was eating, I noticed her looking at me intermittently. She was stealing glances. I looked at her with roving eyes and noticed she also had a leer on her face. It drove my curiosity wild and I was eager to know her. She sounded quite polished and she looked more dignified than running a local restaurant. I knew there was more to it. As I was done, I went to meet her and said to her, "Thank you very much. My name is Samuel, can I know your name?" She giggled and said, "My name is Timmy." As we both smiled at each other like teens gripped in some high school crush. So I left the place hoping to return the following day. I got to my rented room and I was still thinking of Timmy. She was average height, dark-skinned and very attractive. Her curves were at the right angle and her bursts were an eye candy. I mean, she was just a sight for sore eyes. I knew I needed companion to quench my lust while I served my country in the beautiful state of Kogi, and Timmy just happened to fit into the picture. Being a nerd, a dweeb, and a slacker isn't a thing to be proud of. I had only had sex once, thanks to my friend who took me clubbing, then some chic agreed to get down with me and at the end made me pay her some money. I regretted the fact that my first sexual experience was in a club, with a girl I never got to know her name, and in the most slovenly and uncouth manner. That wasn't funny. I felt I needed to lay claim on my very own pet, a decision I soon regretted. The following day I went to the restaurant, but this time around I went there late. Unfortunately, food had finished, but the good thing was that Timmy had time to spare. She was busy preparing to wash the dishes and I didn't hesitate to assist her. She didn't want me to get my hands dirty, but I insisted. I helped her in getting water and she was thrilled that a CORPER would stoop so low helping her with the dishes. Well, why wouldn't I? It granted me the avenue to view her heavy kegs that jiggled as she was washing the dishes. Suddenly her mother appeared from a distance. Timmy sighted her and she said to me, "Please hide, don't let her see you." I then hid behind the canteen and after about 15 minutes she left the place. Timmy then came to meet. "Sorry about it." She apologized. "It's okay, no sweat. Your mom is strict, right?" I inquired, at least to know if something would encumber my lustful desires. "No, she's not. I am preparing for jam exams and seeing me with a guy would upset her," she claimed. "Then why are you here working in the restaurant? You should be attending lessons now," I curiously asked. She said my elder sister is not feeling too fine and she's the one in charge of the restaurant. Yesterday was my first day here. I asked her the course she intended to study, and she gleefully said it was biochemistry. I added, as a way of dabbling my panache, that I graduated with a first class from chemical engineering, which was true. If you need any assistance, I will be glad to help you. I added calmly. Wow, you must be a genius, she exclaimed. She gladly accepted my gentle offer, mentioning that she had found physics and chemistry as a closed book to her. I laughed and said, "No, I am not a genius. I just love to read my books a lot. It takes hard work and persistence to be successful. My dad is a professor and my mom is a judge. They really encouraged me." We finished cleaning up and I decided to walk her home, which she agreed. As we walked, we talked about our families and she opened up about the challenges she faced gaining admission, being the only child amongst her siblings privileged to attend higher institution. I was so bent in making her pass her jam, and I promised her I would teach her through. I convinced her to tell her mom she needed to prepare for her exams and that she won't be able to continue with the running of the restaurant. The mom eventually succumbed and she got a replacement. I made an arrangement with Timmy for her to be coming to my place 4 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 1 p.m. on Saturdays, which she agreed. My intentions were sincere, but with a little thoughts of side attractions. In spite of being attracted to her, I wanted her more than anything to pass her jam exams this time around. Her first day at my place was an amazing one. She brought me rice, fried plantain, and 3 pieces of meat. I was really touched and I felt she truly cared for me. The most enthralling thing she did again was, she washed all my dirty clothes, including my singlets, and she swept my room and arranged my stuffs. No lady had done such to me except my mom. I was moved by that and felt more obliged to her. We couldn't do any reading that day, so I walked her home around 6:30 p.m. I got to my room and it looked quite different. Neat and very organized. I laid on my neatly made bed and I thought to myself, is it possible something real can happen between Timmy and I? But I considered the years she would spend in the university and all